Alright guys, I apologize for not recording an intro. I forgot to record an intro, so we're getting voiceover through this entire thing. So I am creating a gingerbread trifle, but in order to create that, I actually had to create my own gingerbread seasoning. So you get two recipes here, how to make your own gingerbread seasoning and a gingerbread trifle. First, I want to thank the SisketEars for inviting me to this collaboration. And I think it's the second annual, maybe third annual gingerbread collaboration. I think it's the third. But please be sure to go check out all the other channels and their recipes or them decorating gingerbread houses. However, whatever they chose to do. Last year I did a gingerbread house. This year we're doing seasoning and a dessert. So I actually made this for Thanksgiving and it went off pretty well, and I was actually surprised because I used a keto cake, which is interesting. So for the seasoning, all your ingredients are going to be cinnamon, ginger, allspice, nutmeg, black pepper, and ground cloves, and you're going to mix those up in a small bowl. I actually ground mine in my marble bowl with whatever you want to call that thing that squishes it all, but it's 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground allspice, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, half a teaspoon of ground, or 1 teaspoon, sorry, of ground cloves. And I just kind of put all those together and sort of, I mean, if you don't want to make your own seasoning, I think you can buy gingerbread seasoning. I didn't have that, but I had everything to make it, so I made my own. Simple as that. And it actually, I still have quite a bit. It lasts quite a while. And that's it for making the seasoning, so let's get on with the actual dessert. Alright, for the gingerbread trifle, I used somebody else's recipe, but then I tweaked it to my own, so I'm not even going to reference their recipe, just because I tweaked it a lot. But in terms of what's needed here, you need 16 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature, 3/4 a cup of sugar, and then, you know, the gingerbread seasoning that I used. So really, if you can just use a little bit of the gingerbread seasoning, but if you're not making gingerbread seasoning and doing it from what you've got, you're going to use 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of cloves, 2 tablespoons of molasses, and 3 tablespoons of milk. And that just kind of gets your creaminess all together. I will say I additionally sprinkled in some more of the gingerbread seasoning because I didn't have gingerbread cookies. So you'll also need 20 ounces of Cool Whip divided and kind of like whipped a little bit just so that it's easier to spread out. I mean, you don't really have to whip it. You could just set it out for a little bit and let it like thaw out a bit, however you want to do that. And then the recipe I used that I didn't use, it recalled 14 ounces of gingerbread cookies. I did not use cookies. I used cake. And the cake that I used is I actually made a keto cake, a vanilla keto cake, and used that, as well as I used what you would call a pumpkin gingerbread cupcakes that I bought from the store, which, oh my gosh, those were super good. I used those. And then I used 1 cup of caramel sauce divided. So that's everything I used. And really I just whipped the seasoning that I made and the cream cheese and the Cool Whip all together. I just whipped it all together to make my layers of creamy stuff. And then I cubed out the keto cake, and you can use regular cake, you can use gingerbread, whatever you want to use. I used keto cake because that's what I had readily available, as well as the pumpkin gingerbread cupcakes I purchased, and I just layered those in the bottom. I layered the keto cake along with the pumpkin cake together in layers, and then just did a small layer of each of the creamy substance, which was again the molasses and all that stuff mixed together, and then I did a layer of the caramel, and then I just kept layering it like that. Literally, like, I used a piece of a recipe to get the amounts of like gingerbread or ginger and all that stuff, but in general I created this myself, and it was super good. And the top layer, again, I took my seasoning that I made to make it more gingery and sprinkled that on top, and literally that's it. That's all I did. It's no bake unless you bake the cake, or if you buy the cake, then it's no bake, or, you know, if you use gingerbread cookies, which is what the original recipe I looked at required, and I didn't have any, and I didn't have any in the store. It was super simple, super simple. I don't know if, like, this is something you guys want to recreate, but I think the trifles look really pretty, and they taste really good as long as you do them right. Don't be like on Friends where, you know, Rachel gets them stuck together and makes like half dessert and then puts meat in it. Oh, that just sounds disgusting. Anyway, that's all I did. That's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think. If you want a little bit more detail, I mean, I provided you with all the serving, or like all the ingredients and how much. I just used the whole of the keto cake as well as all 8. I think it was 8 cupcakes. So mine was very cakey. If you want it more crunchy, then use cookies. Oh, I also used icing. I added some vanilla icing in there with my cream cheese and Cool Whip. And not much. It was a very little bit. I think it was like 2 tablespoons. And it was just to kind of make it really sweet. If you don't like it super sweet, this is definitely not for you. But if you like it super sweet, you're good to go with this. And the caramel sauce, I didn't buy the tube caramel sauce. I actually used the canned stuff. It's kind of like, I don't know, I liked it better. It was thicker. It wasn't creamy like what you would put on the topping of ice cream. It was very thick. You can actually see it if you look really closely behind the trifle dish. There's a little can right there, and that's what it is. I can't remember the brand of it, but it was super good. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think, and please go check out all the other videos that the SisketEars coordinated with for their channels. And thanks so much for watching.